Lattu, the top, and now you have very intricately made material. Earlier it used to be done with one thread. You could actually throw the top with the thread, and it was all skills, right? Play a game like a dog and the bone, a statue, queen of. Welcome to the next episode of Shiksha Sarathi. In episode 1, we spoke about the NCF 2022. Episode 2, we spoke about the importance of understanding the developmental milestones. In episode 3, we spoke about the developmental objectives, learning outcomes, the importance of understanding the rich Indian heritage of education, and the Panchkosha Vikas. In episode 4, we discussed the various domains of development with special emphasis on the social emotional domain. And now, in episode 5, we are going to talk about the domain of physical development and the importance of play and toy-based pedagogy in the development of this domain. Play is a child's work. I love this statement. And I have always wondered why so many curriculums did not include play as an essential part of the curriculum, and we kept making excuses to keep children bound to their chairs indoors instead of saying, let's just make play the learning. The National Curriculum Framework very clearly indicates that play must become an integral part of the daily routine. And play, while talking about play, not just the physical development, but the balance of the internal well-being and nutrition that will help all the systems to function better. And also covering a very important aspect that children should be developing their sensorial perceptions, and then thirdly, developing a fit and flexible body. Toy-based pedagogy has been researched in the last few years, talked about on different platforms, and a very nice document on play-based pedagogy has been released by the NCERT and can become a very good reference point for teachers. Like I always say in the episodes, each episode is just the beginning of a learning process for us as educators or as parents, and there is so much more we can research and apply. So when we talk about physical development and play, we can also interrelate this aspect with our last episode where we spoke about social emotional development and well-being. And that is how we are going to begin our connect today and explore how play can influence the development of not only the social emotional development but the other domains as well. So play and feelings. Happiness, delight, enjoyment, laughter, anger, tears. We see all of this on a play field or when children are playing. Research says that play and physical activity influences the happiness chemicals in the body, leading to happier learners. I would say, why just happier learners? Even when we as adults are not feeling so good and we do a physical activity of a certain intensity, we definitely come back feeling a little happier. So that is actually how beautifully play and activity can influence the emotional development. Now, play and skills. So creativity and wonder. Bored children can come up with amazing games and they can play with the most seemingly mundane things to create hours of play. And they can adapt them to whatever they imagine and they can continue to keep modifying them. So developing all of this with play, and then the simple life skills like play and responsibility, where you have to take care of your things, put back your playthings, cooperation, sharing, being patient, understanding individual strengths and weaknesses, and covering for each other, and so many more things that any of us who actually watch even sports and games realize. Now, play and language development. So, listening to instructions, verbal and non-verbal communication, so important, and the developing of a rich vocabulary, beginning with the simplest of words like a hop, skip, jump, sit, clap, turn, run, or even prepositions: come to the side, go stand behind, go forward, move to the right. So many things that the children can actually learn even in language while they are playing. Now, play and the development of cognitive skills, adapting, resilience, creative additions, following a sequence or pattern, problem solving, figuring out things. All this comes when the children are playing. So look at the amount of development, the number of domains we touch by a simple activity, play. We will have to revisit this domain in the coming weeks, because we would have to cover different aspects of it: the small muscle, the gross muscle development, the safety of the children, and so on and so forth. And why we need to make play the central point of our curriculum. So, when I was researching, I came across this very beautiful part that our country used to have, which Gandhiji propagated, was the integrated approach for training the head or the mind, the hand or the skills, and the heart or the human values. So can we not connect the hand to the movement of the body and play for the development of the mind and heart? I think we can. Also, very, very important to understand that stimulation is required for the brain to develop. Thomas Edison said, "I have not worked a day in my life. It was all fun." Other experts say it was once thought that play and education are opposite, but education specialists have researched and discovered that play is learning and one of the most effective kinds of learning processes. So in my last many years, the most common excuse I have heard about play not being an essential part of the day is that the curriculum needs to be completed and there is no time. Well, play is now the curriculum. So we will have to look at play in a very, very different aspect. We'll divide it into 3 aspects of how we can organize play for children. The first one is free play. So when we plan our day, we have to make scope for free play where the children choose what they want to play, how they want to play, with what they want to play, and with whom they want to play. Teachers and parents can play an indirect role by just ensuring that the play area is safe and being there if the children need support. It's also a lovely time to go out there and simply play with them, run, roll, slide, hop, and just be a child with the children. Avoid correcting or cautioning them all the time. Great time to also introduce the first aid kit to them, to tell them that these are the safety norms, and in case you get hurt, there is a little kit which we can use, So sometimes it's just good to let children be. Simple local games like hopscotch, catch. We used to play this lovely game called ice and fire, or ice and water, where one child was catching the other children, and when he or she came close to you, you sat down and he would tap your, or she would tap your head, and she would say ice, and you would freeze, and we would literally freeze. And then the other children have to come and touch you and say fire or water, and avoid being caught by this other child. It was such fun, and you could play it for so long, Things like 7 stones, just 7 stones in a ball, So many of these little things can be done. And then hide and seek, or so many little games which you can play with children. Many of the games we played as children have actually got lost in the world of technology. The lack of playtime and spaces. Even a simple game like chain, where you kept running, catching children, and a huge chain was made. Finally, there was one child left and everybody else was in a chain. A simple game like skipping. Lattu, the top, and now you have very, very intricately made material. Earlier, it used to be done with one thread. You could actually throw the top with a thread, and it was all skills, right? Play a game like a dog and the bone, a statue, Queen of Sheba, tap and clap, simple games like Ao, Milo, Shilo, Shalo. We've done all of this, and they're so simple to actually integrate into your daily classroom, tinkering, jodo, todo, fir jodo. Children would like to pull apart things, they'll put them back. Things like blocks, very, very doable things, is so easy to do with free play. Then comes the guided play. This is a time when teachers and adults give the children resources and guide them how to play. It is more structured than free play, but it is child directed, so definitely gives the children a lot of liberty to make permutations and combinations. It could be playing with blocks or clay, modeling, water play, sand play, simple activities like this. And then comes the structured play, which is teacher directed, planned, carefully thought over activities which are fun, which have a few specific rules, and are designed keeping the broad learning goals and a basic set of outcomes in mind so that you can see observable indicators. So it could be a board game, it could be races, it could be a game like passing the parcel, or a rule that says, okay, we're going to pick up a slip and speak just for 30 seconds, and so on and so forth. A simple game like a carom board, snakes and ladders, ludo. These are all games which could be so easily planned for children and introduced to them. My suggestion would be that we all chat with different generations of people and pen down the list of games they played, we played, and what our children play, and look at the list we will have with us. So I'm going to get my list ready of traditional games. I'm going to explore, and then we are going to put it all together. You have your list ready and I'll have mine, and we will meet again and talk about a little more on the physical development and the domain in one of the following episodes. And like I sat down with my little tic-tac-toe, a simple piece of paper that could actually make us choose and play a lovely game with a small group of children. So play must become an essential part of our curriculums, of our children's lives at home, and must never, never be negotiated. Play is non-negotiable. You do not trade it for anything else. I think that is one very important thing that we have to remember about play. It is the child's right. Namaskar, and we will see you again very soon.
Square, square, panda.